Hey everybody, this is Bill. I am the salty old Marine. Today I wanted to talk to you about my personal journey because very recently, in the last few days, I was notified by the VA that I have reached 100% permanent and total. My journey took about 2 years, from start to finish. And I wanted to show you what my roadmap was. Your roadmap will probably be different, but this is how mine worked. So I wanted to spend a little time going through it. This is not a brag. I am really not interested in telling you how wonderful I am. In fact, getting to 100% is not the best thing in the world because it really says, hey, I'm pretty messed up. And in fact, I am. Yeah, it's nothing to be proud of, but I am getting treatment for the things that I can get treatment for and taking medication for the rest. And now it's time to live my life and make YouTube videos to help other veterans. So let's dig in. On August 18th of 2023, so 2 years ago, I received my first VA disability rating. It was for tinnitus. That's the constant ringing in the ears. Now, I did that claim all wrong. I had previously put in a claim for a whole bunch of things because I went to a VA PACT Act stand down and they told me, write down everything that's wrong with you. And so I did. And that was it. That was all I did. And the claim went in. I didn't even realize I was making a claim. How crazy is that? And, well, it took until August 18th of 2023, I was called to a CNP exam for hearing and tinnitus. I went to the exam. I had no DBQ. I had no nexus letter. I had no real personal statement other than what I had said, which was that one of my earplugs fell out while I was in boot camp, and my drill instructor wouldn't let me put it back in, and I've had ringing mostly in my left ear, but in both, all the rest of my life since 1979. And also I had a MOS of military police, which is rated moderate for noise exposure by the VA. All right, so that got me 10%. I got 0% but service connected for my left ear. So I have some hearing loss in my left ear. I could wear a hearing aid if I wanted to, and but I get 0% for that because that's kind of how the VA does it. All right, so that was my starting point, if you will. That was my foot in the door. That was getting numbers on the board. And sometimes that's really all that matters, to just get started. Right? So it was a fairly small amount of pay from the VA. It was like $173 a month. Okay, well, that's beer money, right? Well, I don't drink anymore, but if I did, it would be. You know what I mean. It's going out to dinner money. All right, so what happened next? The next thing I did was, because I was having trouble with PTSD, because it was really becoming a problem, I reached out to the VA. I got diagnosed with PTSD and I began attending therapy sessions. So I went to VA therapy sessions, and after I had been doing that for quite some time, my doctors were actually asking me, are you going to file a claim? And at the time I hadn't even thought about filing a claim. I was really more concerned about dealing with my PTSD. But over time I thought, well, maybe I should. So I went ahead and I filed a claim for PTSD, and I included things like my personal statement of how I came to have PTSD from my time in the military, and I included my diagnosis from the VA and the fact that I was currently under therapy and receiving medication for my nightmares from the VA and all that sort of thing. And in fact, in May of 2024, I was awarded a 50% disability for PTSD. I did decide to appeal that because I felt that it didn't correctly reflect my circumstances. So I filed an HLR that was approved, and on May 29th of 2024, I received a rating of 70% for PTSD. Now, PTSD opened the door because there are many things that PTSD is known to cause. One of those things is sleep apnea. Now, I have heart disease. I'm not rated for that. That's not a service-connected thing. I don't intend to file for it, but I have heart disease. And my cardiologist suggested for years that it was caused by sleep apnea and that I should get myself tested. I should get a sleep study. I eventually gave in. My wife was tired of me snoring all night and stopping breathing in the middle of the night and worrying if I was actually dead or not. So I got a sleep study, and sure enough, I have sleep apnea. Well, sleep apnea turns out to be one of the easier claims to get service-connected if you have PTSD, and especially in my case, I had documented weight gain while in service and afterwards. So I submitted all that information. I also submitted a nexus letter, which I purchased from a psychologist, and he reviewed my records, and he wrote a nice nexus letter, and I was service-connected for 50%. Now that brought me to a total of 90%. Finally, my last set of claims. My last set of claims were also secondary to PTSD. It was for migraines, IBS, and GERD. I went out and got diagnosed for all of them, and I got treatment for all of them. The migraines, I take a monthly injection called a Jovi. I stick it in my thigh. I really don't like it, but it really stops my migraines. Just, it hammers them. I've gone from a migraine a week to maybe twice a month, which is roughly half. But the migraines I do get are just not quite as severe as the ones I was getting previously. So I consider that a win, and I'm willing to take the medication for that reason. And I'll probably be doing that for the rest of my life. That got me a 50% rating. I also filed for IBS and GERD. I have terrible problems with IBS. I have for years, and that is also a known side effect of PTSD. So I went and got the colonoscopy. I went and got the, forgot what they call it when they put the thing down your throat, but they did that. And because I have terrible acid reflux, I take a lot of medication for it. I eat a bottle of freaking Tums a week, all just to keep my sleep apnea, or my GERD, my acid reflux, under control. So I went out and got DBQs. Now, DBQ is a disability benefit questionnaire. We'll talk more about that in another video. But basically, I asked my doctors, could you please fill out this form that the VA provides? And they were willing to do so. So my neurologist filled one out for my migraines, and my gastroenterologist filled one out for GERD and IBS. I also went out and got, again, nexus letters. 2 from a psychiatrist and 1 from a psychologist, and I submitted all of that, and in record time, in 20-some-odd days, I was ordered 50% for migraines, 30% for IBS, and 10% for GERD. I don't have esophageal stricture, so I could not get a higher rating for GERD, but that's quite all right because that was enough to tip me to 96% schedular or 100% using VA math. And because I'm 64 years old, they immediately rated me as permanent and total, which means a lot of things open up for myself and for my wife, which is wonderful. We'll be able to, in the state of Michigan where we live, we'll be able to get a relief from our property tax going forward. That's huge. A free license plate on the car for disabled veterans, and a variety of other opportunities, including going out and getting a Department of Defense ID card when we get the opportunity to do so. So a lot of things on the horizon, but as far as filing claims, I'm done, folks. I don't have any of the necessary requirements to file for anything beyond that, which is SMC, and we'll talk about that in another video. Those are add-ons even after you get to 100%, and for a lot of you, they may be appropriate, and they may be appropriate for me as I get even older and become more infirm. But at the moment, they don't apply. I won't be applying for them, so here I rest my case. This is Bill. I am the salty old Marine. I am at 100% permanent and total. I hope you found this video useful. By the way, I'm in my brand new studio. I hope you like it. We built it just to do these YouTube videos. You can tell we're going to be doing this for a long time, or at least we hope so. And please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. And as always, have a great day.